Hi La Pluma students, I want to tell you about an art contest that is happening right now. It's called I Matter Because, and it's a reflections art contest where you're going to be thinking about this question or this idea of why do I matter? And then you're going to interpret this artistically. So you could write a piece of music, you could write an essay, you can paint a picture, you can make a collage or a sculpture out of clay. There are so many things that you can do. But these art entries are due in 2 weeks on Tuesday, October 20th. So if you are interested in entering this art contest, think about this idea, I matter because, and then think about what you want to do for your project. And if you have any questions, you can email this email address, zaragozv@gmail.com. And she can answer all of your questions. Thanks so much, you guys, and let's get started on the art project. Our artist for this week is named Claes Oldenburg, and he is still alive. He lives in New York City. He's 91 years old, and he is famous for creating huge public displays of art that are just everyday objects. So he has, for instance, like a gigantic hamburger that he made, and you can go and look at this hamburger. It's very large. He did a spoon, a shovel, an ice cream cone turned upside down on the corner of a building, and a safety pin. So I want you to watch this video that shows you a picture of Claes Oldenburg, and then also shows you some of his artwork that you can actually go see out in the world around the United States. Here you go. Our project today is that we are going to draw this hamburger, and we're going to draw it as large as we possibly can. This is inspired by Claes Oldenburg's huge artistic displays. So let's get started. All right, for our art lesson this week, you're going to need a piece of white paper, a pencil or a black marker, and some crayons, or you can use colored pencils or oil pastels or even paint if you have that. We're going to take our piece of paper and fold it in half the long way. We are going to just use a skinny half of our paper to create this hamburger design. So we really want to give the illusion that it's very tall and big. It's so big that it can't even fit onto the page. The first part we're going to do is the top bun, and we're going to do a curved line on the left top corner and a curved line on the right top corner to show the curve of that top bun. But again, this bun is so big, it can't even fit completely on the paper. And then we're going to do a straight line across. So this is the top bun of our hamburger. I'm going to do some little sesame seeds. All right. And then we're going to skip all the way down to the bottom of our hamburger, and we're going to do the bottom bun. And again, that's a curved line on the left corner bottom, and a curved line on the right corner bottom. And then for this one, I didn't do a straight line across. I wanted to make it look like ketchup was dripping down onto that bun. So I am going to I'm going to start up a little bit higher. And I'm going to do kind of a curved line and then come down into a drip, curve back up and over to the right. So this is my bun and this is my drippy ketchup. All right, now we are ready to fill in all this other stuff in our hamburger. And I tried to think of anything you could put on a hamburger, like cheese and meat, and this is another piece of another burger, like another piece of meat. There is bacon, and this is an egg. There are onions and lettuce, and this is maybe another type of cheese, mustard, onions, tomatoes. So I was just trying to think of as many different colorful things that I could stack onto my hamburger, and that's what we're going to do too. So let's start back at the top again. I'm going to do another, this is going to be like a mustard sauce that's dripping down. So I'm going to do 2 drips this time. So starting at the left side, I'm going to curve a little bit up and then down into a drip, and then curve over and down into another drip, and then finish on the right side. And below that, I'm going to do some lettuce. So the lettuce is these kind of pointy zigzag lines. So I'm going to do zigzag and kind of go around my mustard, pick up my pen and finish on the right side. So there is my lettuce, kind of those pointy zigzag edges of the lettuce. Next, I'm going to add tomatoes. And so for tomatoes, I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I did in my sample, but it's going to be a long curved edge, and that'll be red. And then another long curved edge, and maybe like a smaller circle in here, like the center of the tomato. And now I'm ready to go to my next shape. So basically we're just layering a bunch of different shapes and colors to show all the different ingredients of our hamburger. So now I'm ready for my onions. So I'm going to use purple onions, and I'm going to do some curved lines coming down. It's like right here. And then I'm going to do some curved lines going back up, and there's some overlap here. So this is the onion that is in front of this onion, which goes behind. And let's add some more purple onion right here. And I love that. I think that looks great. Again, my project might not look exactly like my sample, and your hamburger might not look exactly like mine, and that's great. Every hamburger is different, and you can actually put totally different ingredients in your hamburger if you would like to. All right, so we've got our mustard, lettuce, tomato. This is our onion down here, and I think we're ready for our first burger patty. So I'm going to do kind of like a little squiggly line going across, and then some little curved lines that show the texture in the meat. So there's my first burger. Now I'm ready for my egg, and I'm a little bit lower here than I was up here, but that's fine. That's no problem. So my egg I'm going to make a little smaller. It's going to be kind of a squiggly line that comes back up. And I'm going to make my yolk. This one I did the whole yolk showing, but this one I'm just going to make half of the yolk showing. So it's kind of like tucked up underneath this burger patty right here. And I think I'm ready to draw some bacon. Again, the bacon is going to be tucked under the egg here. We're going to get some of those different lines and designs that go through the bacon of the fat. So I'm doing just some kind of like wavy lines inside of the bacon. Okay, and then let's do this Swiss cheese. So I'm going to draw a diagonal line going down to the right and a diagonal line coming down from the left. And this is the point of my Swiss cheese, so I need to draw some holes in my Swiss cheese. Some circles and ovals. Okay, I'm ready for my next burger patty. Again, just a little squiggly wavy line. And that goes all the way across. And then some more little curved lines to show the texture of the meat or the burger. And okay, I just have a little bit of room left. I'm going to do, this is like an orange sauce, like kind of like a Thousand Island or like a secret sauce at In-N-Out Burger. Do that squiggly line. And I think that's good. I think I'm happy with what that looks like. These little brown things I think were grilled onions, so maybe I'll add a couple grilled onions in here just to add more shape and more color. So we have raw onions and grilled onions. All right, and that looks like a really delicious, amazing burger. And I'm ready to add some color. So just like we've done in the past, we're going to layer color on top of color. So like for my bacon, I'm going to use some of this pink. It's a red violet. And I'm not going to color in a solid piece of bacon, just do parts of it pink. And I'm going to use red. And again, just kind of like coloring in parts, overlapping my pink that I already had colored on there. Because we want it to look like it has depth and shadow and the light is shining on it in certain places, and so you get different tones. And then I'm going to use a light pink to color in where the fat is, just because that's a lighter part of the bacon. I'm going to color a little bit more above it, just pretending that there's some other bacon stacked in there. Okay, so that's my bacon. I think it looks crispy and delicious and shiny. All right, let's go to the Swiss cheese, which I'm going to color yellow. And I'm going to leave the holes white on my Swiss cheese. If you wanted to, you could color in some of those holes because there would be shadows behind, like with where the meat is or other ingredients. So maybe we should try that and see what that looks like if we color in the holes. There's my Swiss cheese, and I'm going to use a gray to kind of color in those holes to show there's a shadow there. Those are holes. All right, and I like that. Looks great. Okay, I'm going to work on my beef patties. So I've got one beef patty here. I'm just going to use brown lightly. And I have another beef patty up here, so I'm going to go color that brown as well. And now I'm going to go back over it with some black, because when you barbecue a hamburger or when you grill it, Some parts get more burnt than other parts, so we want to have those black highlights or lowlights. All right, that meat looks good. Okay, let's do the egg. The egg, I'm going to do the outline of my yolk in a brighter orange. And then I'm going to color it in with yellow. And I'm going to leave the white part of the egg white. Let's see, let's work on our tomatoes. When I did my tomatoes here, I didn't color them all the way in. I wanted to leave some portions white to show the light shining off the juicy tomatoes. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to kind of follow the shape of the tomato, but leave whole strips, whole parts of the tomato not colored in. That'll make it just look shinier, like has more texture, it's more interesting. It's not just like a flat tomato. All right, let's do our onions. I'm doing purple onions up here. These are the raw ones. And then down here below are my grilled onions, so those will be more brownish gray. But again, onions tend to have like a purple sort of outer edge and then be more white on the inside. So I'm just going to follow my black lines with purple, but leave the insides white. All right. Let's do some mustard. I'm gonna come back up here, up by the top bun. I'm gonna color this in just solid yellow, just mustard dripping down. Even if you don't like mustard, you could still put it on your picture because it adds another layer of color and interest. I'm gonna go down to the bottom now and color in my ketchup. So I need a red. Here's a red. I'm just going to color in this drippy, drippy ketchup. Okay, this hamburger is looking really, really good. Kind of making me wish we were having In-N-Out for dinner tonight or some other hamburger. All right, there's my ketchup. Let's do some green. We don't have any green in here yet, and I have a couple different spots that I added green in on my sample. That could just be lettuce or pickle relish. What else could be green? Avocado, maybe. So I'm going to color in here green. And I'm going to color this strip green. I don't remember if I ever had originally planned for it to be green, but it's green now, and that's okay. The ingredients can change as you're coloring. And this up here is going to be green as well. So I'm doing a first layer with this sort of medium green, and I'm going to go back with a lighter green and add another layer of color on top of this. So let's use this lighter green, and just like we've done before, we're just going to go right over the top of what we previously colored, especially in the places that we didn't color before the white spots. So we really have this sort of blended look. Okay, and I'm going to come back down and add some lighter green into this sauce, pickle relish, and some lighter green into my avocado right here. All right, I think we've got all of the ingredients in our hamburger colored in, and we are ready now to do the bun, the top and the bottom bun. So I'm going to use two colors for this. I'm going to use red, or sorry, that's not red, that's brown. And then I'm also going to use a peach. So the brown and peach are gonna be combined or layered to kind of have that blended look. So I'll start with the brown, but leaving some portions white because I'm gonna come back with the peach. Up here, same thing, but I'm gonna skip over my sesame seeds. Those are gonna stay white because sesame seeds are white. And now I'm going to come back with my peach and I'm just going to fill in those white spaces. Give that hamburger bun kind of a goldenish bread look. All right, and there it is. That's our finished giant hamburger inspired by Clay's Oldenburg and his public art of gigantic everyday things like hamburgers and safety pins and shovels. And I hope you guys enjoyed the project. Thank you so much.